The company has undergone rapid growth over the last couple of years, and so a compliance program is very important at this stage of Mubadala's life.
It operates in areas that can be grey if it's not formalized. I think people can interpret different rules and different standards differently if there isn't a formal written process that guides them.
I believe that everyone knows what ethics are and what is compliance, figuratively speaking, but you need to put things into context. You need to know how does this fit into your current role within the company and within the company's position in the world economy and business environment. So this code of conduct will actually put things into context for everyone within Mubadala and its subsidiaries.
Hi, I'm Kurt Drake. I'm the Senior Compliance Manager at Mubadala. By now, hopefully you've received the Code of Conduct. You've also sat through the face-to-face training. This is really to give you a summary of what we discussed in the training session, and also to serve as a reminder for you to make sure you understand your role in compliance and how it protects all of us. We want this to become a living document. It's something that's embraced by all employees, and it's the foundation of the values that we have as Mubadala employees. We also want to make sure that every employee is knowledgeable and aware. The compliance program will help you become knowledgeable and aware by the training and communications that we'll do for you. And the big piece, which I really need from you, is being committed. Right? You can be aware, you can be knowledgeable, but if you're not committed on doing the right thing, legally and ethically, we're in trouble. Okay? So that's really where we need your help as a company to protect yourself as well as protect the company of Mubadala.
I have been working with Mubadala for 6 years, and I've seen the company grow over this time, and I think it's the right time to have a formal code of conduct on how we behave in the market.
You could argue that you don't need a code because we're all professionals, and I guess we know what ethical behavior is or what type of behavior is expected. But then when you look at the recent scandals in the press, you realize that these are educated people that still behave unethically. So clearly you do need a code in any company.
So as you look at the Code of Conduct, there are 5 sections, and we're going to talk about each section briefly. So the first section is leadership commitment. This one clearly outlines our commitment to transparency and to corporate governance. This is our commitment to our shareholder, to our stakeholders, to our partners, to us as employees, and to suppliers and customers, and making sure that we make a commitment to how we operate in the marketplace. So all Mubadala Group employees are committed to doing the right thing, and we operate with the same values and standards.
Because of the number of cultures and different types of people that are now walking these corridors, it's more important than ever that we're all on the same page when it comes to compliance and integrity and what we hold true.
I think it puts it with organizations around the world at a global standard, but definitely in the region, I think it's maybe one of a kind.
The second section is focused on your responsibilities. We've designed this Code of Conduct to make sure it's simple and it's clear and you can understand this. We don't require you to be an expert in every rule and regulation, but we do require you to be very familiar with the rules and regulations that affect your job responsibilities every day. And if you're not, again, this is about you being committed and raising your hand and making sure you get help.
We've each had training. We have to certify that we've read and understood and have to do this on a yearly basis.
It would actually give me specific guidelines on treating certain cases, and if those cases don't apply, I can actually know which channels of communication I'll be able to use to actually raise concerns or even inquire about the nature of certain cases which requires my attention, ethically speaking or compliance-wise speaking.
So the third section focuses on the policies that we've identified for the Code of Conduct. There are 22 policies that we have identified that are relevant for the Mubadala Group, whether it's for your industry or your location in the world, but these policies apply to how we operate as a business. Each policy has been designed to have 5 sections in an easy format for you to follow, and it's in simple bullet format. So I encourage you, as one of your responsibilities, is certainly to read the Code of Conduct and be familiar with these 22 policies.
I work a lot with vendors, and A lot of the time vendors, when we're doing negotiations and RFPs, they like to talk to you, they like to come in, they like to take you out and show you things. And it gives me personally something to stand behind and say, well, you know, there's a way to behave, do the right thing, treat everyone fairly, every vendor.
It helps me to make day-to-day decisions. It's a clear guide in terms of areas that could be seen as grey areas to assist us in making decisions.
So the fourth section focuses on the compliance helpline. This part is very important. This goes back to your commitment as an employee to be committed on raising issues so we can fix it. You know, the importance of the helpline is real simple. If we don't know about it, we can't fix it. So we'd like to think that you have enough trust in your manager or your leadership team that you deal with your issues directly with your manager and get them resolved. But there are some cases where you feel that you have raised those issues or you believe that there is an ethical violation and they could be a part of it. This is another option for you to raise the concerns. Now, we've set up several different avenues for you to report concerns. We do have a local and a toll-free number for you to call. When you call that number, it is completely anonymous. So we ask that you identify yourself. If you want to remain anonymous, that's fine, that's your choice, but you got to provide enough information for us that we can understand this and do a proper investigation for you. The other piece of it is that this is confidential. We certainly treat this investigation and the issue that you're raising seriously, and we treat it confidentially. We also ask, as the caller, to also keep this as confidential. And the other piece of it is, which is very important for us in the compliance program, is no retaliation. That we will protect you when you raise concerns in good faith, that no retaliation will be taken against you because you have raised a concern.
I think it's great that Mubadala has this open and transparent environment so that the employees feel comfortable to raise any concerns they might have. And I think it's not something we should take for granted, because I know in other companies perhaps people are scared to speak up due to retaliation perhaps.
So the final section of the Code of Conduct focuses on the compliance structure. And this chart shows you from the board down to every employee what your role and responsibility is. So let's start with the Corporate Compliance Council. This is made up of a representative from each business unit or corporate unit. So it's a group of 25 of us. We meet on a monthly basis. And the idea of that council is that we share cases, issues, questions that may arise from employees, and we address it in that forum. The important piece about this is that we will then share with you and all employees what we are discussing, be it new trainings, new lessons learned, new policies that we want you to become aware of. The other piece of the Compliance Council is that we report up to the Compliance Review Board. That is made up of the C's. And we tell them about what's happening in compliance. And the CRB will also bring in each unit and talk to them about the effectiveness of the implementation of the program in their particular unit. The next section is, the CRB will give updates then to the Audit, Risk, and Compliance Committee. And we do this 6 times a year. And here, we also talk about significant cases, significant issues. We also talk about the compliance culture to make sure it's very effective in Mubadala Group.
If the top management buy into the compliance program and the code of conduct, everyone else would follow. So it's setting an example to the rest of the company.
Within Mubadala, we have very active top management, right down from the very top level down to our senior management. Everyone is very, very keen to be involved and to help Mubadala improve.
So in closing, there are 3 thoughts that we want you to leave with. First, hopefully you understand that the commitment from the leadership team is very clear. We're very transparent on what we expect of ourselves and what we expect as a company. And that commitment is to our shareholder, it's to our stakeholders, to partners, customers, and to ourselves. The second piece is about you. This requires you to be aware and knowledgeable about your responsibilities and compliance, and most importantly, that you're committed in acting ethically and compliantly in everything you do. And then finally, we want you to go online and acknowledge that you have taken the Code of Conduct training course, as well as read the Code of Conduct itself, and that you understand your responsibilities that's outlined in the Code of Conduct. So I appreciate your attention today, and if you have any questions, certainly let me know. Thank you.
This will set Mubadala apart to show our commitment to our value and integrity. As an employee of Mubadala, I think this is something that we all should be proud of.
Mubadala, I think, is seen as champions for professionalism. We set the standards, and this is just one of the many ways in which we do that.
I think what sets it apart is the quality of the document, and I think it will be a benchmark, especially in this region, for other companies.